Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a box set cover image using GIMP. I will be doing this in two parts. This is the first part in which I'll show you how to make a continuous spine image so you know that your image for your spine is all lined up when you go to add it to your box set cover. You'll need for this, I'm using GIMP 2.10.22. If your GIMP looks different than this, it's most likely just because of my settings. I will be using this template from CoverVault. It is totally free. The link is going to be below, and you should open it to the PSD, the Photoshop format. If it's open to Photoshop format, you will see the layers here. If you don't see layers, you need to open the other one. I believe there's a PNG or a JPEG that comes with it. You're also going to need a background image for you to lay the text for your spines on. My sample that I'm using is close to the right ratio, but now we're going to make it the exact ratio. If we go back to the 3D template, we see that we've already got the dimensions of this box shown for us. We're going to use those dimensions in order to create a flat image, not this perspective trapezoid. So for the spine, the width of it is going to be 1.25. That's the width of each of these spines, times 3 is 3.75. The height is going to be 9 because this is a 6x9 book. That makes the ratio 3.75 by 9. Really simple math. You can make your graphic 375 by 900. The graphic I'm using is already 1920 in height, so I am going to make this 750 by 1800. That's 3.75 by 9 times 200. What we're going to do is we're going to go to image and then canvas size to set the size of this to be correct. Make sure that your little ratio lock here is unlocked. And then you're going to put in the correct numbers. I am doing 750 for width and 1800 by height. If you go below this, you will see the offset, and you can actually click and drag the image to get your offset where you want it to be, keeping in mind that you are going to be adding numbers most likely on the bottom and a title most likely toward the middle. And if you are like me, you may also be using a brand or a publisher logo at the top of it. So if you're using a busier graphic like this one is, you'll want to leave that space there. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do with this is we are going to add guides. This is going to make sure that everything is lined up where we want it to be. The first guides that we are going to add will be the vertical lines that will show the spines of the book. And we want those to be set at 33 and 67% because that is 1/3 and 2/3. I'm not worrying about decimals on this. So to set those guides, we want image, guides, new guide. And put those two numbers in, vertical 33 and 67. We're going to do the same thing with horizontal lines, and this is what is going to give us the guidelines for where all that text is going to go and potentially additional graphics. I'm just going to put in some random numbers here and then move them around to be where I want them to be. In order to do that, you just need to click on the move button, and you could just pick them up and move them where you want to go. Next up was we are going to add text to this. I am going to start with the series numbers. Keep in mind with the series numbers that this is going to be in the opposite order. If we look back at our spines, we know that the first one is going to be the front one, but that's actually going to be the third number at the bottom. It is going to be the bottom right corner instead of the bottom left corner. So we're going to put this one in here. We're going to fiddle with our sizing sum, and we're going to make this box the exact same size as the box that it is going into. And that way we can justify it to center, and that will get it perfectly aligned. In GIMP, everything snaps to these guidelines, so they're pretty easy to use to make sure that everything is lined up perfectly. We're going to do the same thing with 2, and we're going to do it with 3. Next up, we are going to add our titles. I'm going to add the first title. This is Kano. I'm going to keep it the same size, and hopefully this font will work out in the horizontal. So I'm going to type it in, and then I am going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise so that it lays up properly. And I'm going to snap it to that guideline. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the second book, that is Vivek. Go through the exact same process. If you are worried about it getting perfectly aligned because I haven't adjusted the size of the box so that it is the correct width of the space, you can always use your arrow keys on your keyboard to nudge it in the right direction. The last book is Gannett. Gannett is much longer than Vivek and Kane. So I'm going to adjust the kerning here to get the spacing proper. And that's just something to think about if you have a bunch of different lengths of titles to get things to fit how you want them to. You can adjust that kerning. Okay. And then once that is done, you can go ahead and add your brand graphic. Mine is just this little pineapple, and I will snap it to that top. I'll get it to be the right size, and then I'll snap it to the top. And then I will do it 2 more times to get it to fill this. And that's it. That is the entire graphic that you will need to do part 2, where we actually fill in the box set cover. And I will be linking to that tutorial in the bottom. Thanks for watching, everybody.